In the aftermath of World War II, Europe was left devastated and struggling to rebuild itself. The continent had experienced the horrors of war and the devastation caused by extreme nationalism. The leaders of Europe recognized that something needed to change in order to prevent such destructive conflicts from happening again. Out of this realization emerged a vision for a united Europe, a Europe that would be governed by a common set of rules and values. The idea was to bring the European countries together, to foster cooperation and integration, and to work towards a common goal of peace and prosperity. The birth of the European government can be traced back to the signing of the Treaty of Rome in 1957. This historic agreement established the European Economic Community, EEC, which aimed to create a common market among its member countries. The EEC was the first step towards closer integration among European nations, and it laid the foundation for what would later become the European Union. Over the years, the European Union has evolved and grown, expanding its membership and acquiring new responsibilities. The European Commission, the executive branch of the EU, was established to propose and enforce legislation. The European Parliament, which represents the interests of the citizens, was also created to give them a voice in the decision-making process. The European Union operates on the principle of subsidiarity, which means that decisions are made at the most appropriate level, whether that be at the national, regional, or European level. This allows for a balance between centralized decision-making and the autonomy of member states. One of the key achievements of the European government has been the adoption of a common currency, the euro. The euro has brought about greater economic stability and made trade and travel easier within the eurozone. It has also strengthened the ties between member countries and symbolized their commitment to a unified Europe. The European government has also been instrumental in promoting and protecting human rights. The European Court of Human Rights, which is separate from the EU but closely aligned with its principles, ensures that member countries adhere to the European Convention on Human Rights. This commitment to human rights has helped to foster a culture of respect and tolerance throughout Europe. Furthermore, the European government has played a crucial role in addressing global issues such as climate change, migration, and security. Through its collective action and diplomatic efforts, the EU has been able to have a significant impact on these issues, working alongside other international organizations and countries. However, it is important to acknowledge that the European government has faced its fair share of challenges and criticisms. Some argue that it has become too bloated and bureaucratic, making decision-making slow and cumbersome. Others believe that it has eroded the sovereignty of member states and imposed too many regulations on them. Despite these challenges, the European government remains a remarkable experiment in supranational governance. It has brought together countries with diverse cultures, histories, and interests and has fostered an environment of cooperation and dialogue. It has demonstrated that through compromise, negotiation, and shared responsibility, it is possible to overcome differences and work towards a common goal. In conclusion, the birth of the European government has been a momentous event in the history of Europe. It has transformed the way member countries interact with one another and has created a framework for joint decision-making and cooperation. While there are certainly challenges to be faced, the European government has shown its resilience and adaptability. It represents a bold and ambitious vision for a united and prosperous Europe, and its continued development will undoubtedly shape the future of the continent.